That's what we're loading. 345. So 45 metric tons. And you'll be guys, hold on 1 second. You'll be proud to know that I managed to back with a Jeep. It was tricky. I thought I would need to drop the Jeep and then hook up to the trailer and back like this, and so I killed my stinger, killed the air, and locked these things over here, right, and basically drain all pressure, and so they were just sliding a little bit, and somehow I managed to maneuver. It's like a double tanker, you know, backing like with a double tanker or a B-train, but not as difficult because the Jeep is not that long, right, but actually makes it a bit more difficult because it's so short, it reacts immediately, you know. So now they just rinse the tracks a little bit. It's all pavement, so it shouldn't be too dirty after loading. You see, it's all asphalt. I got my outriggers. I really need to get new outriggers. So if anybody knows where I can get oak boards, guys, let me know. Not easy to find them. And so the bucket is going to be sitting here. And the advice I got when you run with the Jeep and Stinger is load to the front. You know, you gotta load to the front, like whereas normally that light, I'll try to have the machine somewhere in the middle, but this time we're gonna move the machine a bit backwards, closer to the truck. Otherwise the trailer will be overloaded and the truck will be underloaded. I'm gonna show you guys a bit of driving, but all I'm doing is getting to that flying J. I just basically stopped to get my camera up. But yeah, it does feel heavy, and this is the heaviest load I did. Gross weight wise. So roughly my gross weight now is 172,000 pounds. I never was this heavy. The heaviest I was, I think it was what, 155. So it's a lot of weight, you know, rolling on these 9 axles. And I see I'm pretty good on my drives, probably around, I don't know, 38,000 pounds. Now this turn over here, like, why do we always have to put a light post in the middle of the road, you know? That thing, that's what I don't understand. And so one of the reasons I wanted to show you this stretch, I put a camera in the back, right? We're gonna see if I can make this turn, because I know over here I had trouble when I was with my you know, 4 axles.
600 meters, turn left onto Pettit Road.
You know, 4 axle truck, 4 axle trailer. I had to go on the sidewalk over there. See, the booster is doing its job. The booster is leading the trailer. Oh, beautiful. They're around the corner. It's like amazing, you know. I'm 105 feet long, and I turn better than when I had the 4-axle trailer. You know, that's why these, to me, they totally make sense. You know, they make driving much safer, you know. Now, I became a big fan of these steerable booster axles. Like, honestly, I don't want to drive again with 4 axles in a row, because it's such a hassle, you know, turning and finding parking. But of course, with this thing, I'm too long, but I'm gonna take it off. to load today because we made a mistake. A guy from Saskatchewan told me, hey, if you're running tandem Jeep and then you have all this, you know, stingers and boosters, he says make sure you load everything to the front. Everything to the front. And that probably might work okay in Saskatchewan, but when I loaded this 345 to the front, I couldn't leave the trailer. Like the front of the trailer, fully lifted, was still, one side was still on the ground. And then I checked my gauges on the fifth wheel and on the Jeep, and it was like way too much, you know. Like, I don't know the exact pounds, but I know, you know, it's not supposed to be 80 psi on the Jeep, right? Like usually it's around 60, 65, that's around 35, you know, 40,000 pounds. So that's cool, but that was like way too much. And so we had to move the machine, and I already put like partial chains on it. So we had to move the machine backwards.
Your destination is on the left.
And I'm gonna show you what made also loading difficult with this thing is it has a very small stick. You know, it has a big boom, but the stick is tiny. And because of that, here's a brother. 4XL truck, tried them Jeep, tried them trailer, and tried them booster. Holy moly, that's probably what, like, I don't know, 75, 80 tons? That's just crazy. And so yeah, this thing has a small stick, and that stick was, you know, when the bucket was on the timbers, the stick was hitting my trailer because it's too short, right? And so we had to make it pretty tall. Yeah, so the booster just steered, boom. I'm not sure why I parked so far away from this guy. That's not enough space for another truck. Well, maybe they will squeeze in. We'll see. And so yeah, it took a long time loading, but you know, I ordered the escorts for tomorrow, right, for Tuesday, because I knew it. You see, now it's 5 o'clock actually. I thought I would be here at 3. No, it's 5 o'clock. And also the escorts called me, and they said, "Are we still okay for Tuesday?" I said, "Yeah." And she says, "What time do you want to meet?" I said, "What time is sunrise?" And she says, "Well, in Buffalo you cannot drive between 7 and 9. Darn, I forgot about that. And she says, "It's right on your permit." I said, "Yeah, I saw on the permit it says business district, no driving between 7 and 9, but it didn't specify, like, you know, what business district. Like, I'm not gonna go on the main street where they have all the banks and stuff like that, right? We're going around the downtown, but the lady says no, you cannot drive between 7 and 9. And so we said, okay, I said, "So what time, what do you suggest, when do we meet?" And she says 9 o'clock. And so that's what we're doing. We're meeting at 9 o'clock, and I got my Maryland permit today? Yeah, you see that's my new cable. And it seems to be charging. I don't know. Maybe it was the cable, but I still think the battery is probably dead on this one. Oh, and actually I have to remember to replace. Right, I gotta put my Verizon in here because we're only 3 miles away, 5 kilometers from the border, so I know Verizon will work here. And so I'm gonna switch tablets, and I'm gonna switch from Canadian cycle to US cycle. And all I had today to eat was this vegetable salad. It was just, you know, carrot sticks and celery and stuff like that. That was all my food, and I had 1 coffee. And so the priority of the day is going to that nice Indian restaurant and get some food in me, and then we're gonna do this movie and relax, maybe watch some Netflix or something. Oh, and I need to print out my Maryland, and I need to, you know, find out if they want me to have police escort in there or not, and then I have to find a way. How do you? I never ordered police escorts before, you know. But all in all, the truck was pulling great, except of course it slows down on each heel. You know, 2,050 pounds of torque. It's not a recipe for climbing in all hills in top gear. But like I mentioned, it might help to change tires to low profile 24.5, so then I will have genuine 410. And when I stopped at the I parked in front of the Caterpillar, right, to go inside and ask, you know, see like if I need to drop the Jeep or not, and then I looked to my right and there was a place that said hydraulics hoses, basically a shop selling hydraulic parts. And if you remember, I was complaining about this thing stopped working on my tank, like it just basically rotates loose. And so the guy gave me this was like 20 bucks, and like everything is new, so he says you can just, you see, they give you all these bolts, and so I can replace the filter, you know. And he says probably the reason, basically this little foundation where this goes in, if it's not even, he says, then that cap will not lock properly. So I think when I have time, I'm just gonna replace everything, you know. I'm gonna put this in instead of that, because I think my filter is already dirty in there. So this was a good thing I noticed, you know, hydraulic shop right next to my truck. And I went inside, and I didn't, you know, like I mentioned in the beginning, I didn't have to disconnect anything. I just backed. What is that from? Some kind of piece of metal. I just backed with the Jeep. So it actually took me longer after loading to back with the neck to the trailer than it took me to back with the Jeep all the way in. I guess maybe I was tired or something, but it took me like freaking, I don't know, 10-15 times trying to put the neck in the proper position, because you have to be like, I don't know, half an inch exact on each side, you know. It's very demanding. And that's why this other guy was saying that he says he always drops the Jeep and then just uses the neck. But I see, like, with experience you can do it. It just much less work, you know, backing with the neck on. Anyway, so hopefully, so tomorrow, so 9, and then the sunset is probably 5. We'll be driving like crazy tomorrow, you know, just trying to take advantage of all this daylight. And then hopefully tomorrow I'll also have to book the police escort if I require one. And I need to deliver Wednesday, because that was they really wanted this in the port Wednesday.